Rykoff here with me in New York. Paul's the host of the Independent Americans podcast. And strange, I mean, you had a member of Congress telling Joe they'd really never seen something like this, the way this has all been handled, but supposedly a serious threat, says Mike Turner. What say you?
It's strange, for sure. Maybe a reflection of the division that exists in Congress and in Washington right now, where we can't even talk about classified information privately and in confidence. I think it's very unusual for Turner to go public with this. There should be back channels for him to be able to leverage, even with the other party, to be able to focus on national security issues. It underscores how high the stakes are. We've got a lot already on our plate at the White House and Department of Defense. And if there's something new, you hope they can work it out in private rather than going to the press and putting it out in the public, where our enemies and adversaries can also see it.
What he said, Mike Turner, we can put it up again, is I'm requesting President Biden declassified all information related to this threat so the Congress, the administration, our allies can openly discuss the actions necessary to respond to this threat. But that's quite cryptic because it doesn't say what the threat is. To your point, maybe there is something deeper here without speculating about what the threat might be. On the political side, maybe Turner's trying to make a point. Maybe it's internal in the Republican Party. We don't know. Is his message maybe to Speaker Johnson, hey, I want to get the foreign aid bill to the floor? Something like that going on that might not be related to whatever's in this information? I don't know.
It feels like political games, and this is not the area to be playing political games in. And you hope that when the stakes are the highest, if you have a legitimate concern about classified information, you've exhausted every option in private before you go to the press and to the world and talk. We don't know what this is, and now the whole world is speculating. I think it's going to create, concern for people unnecessarily, perhaps.
But no reason necessarily right now for a regular person watching to be concerned. I guess we just don't know.
No, we don't know, and I think Turner needs to clarify immediately, and Turner needs to figure this out with Biden immediately, and somebody needs to make a statement as soon as possible so that, our military, everybody in America who's watching the news can put this in the appropriate context.
Speaking of context and speaking of politics, I did want to talk to you. I always say you're kind of our resident independent thinker here. What did you think? It's not an independent win, but it was a centrist win last night for the Democrats in this area out on Long Island, just east of where we are right now, for Tom Suozzi. What is there some sort of a wider meaning there, or just an individual
I would not read into it too much. I mean, I grew up in New York. I got a lot of family in Long Island. I know Long Island, and it's a pretty divided politically place. It's a changing political place. And you've got an interesting situation here in Suozzi, who was in that seat before. He's a known entity running against a person that was pretty unusual, was actually registered as a Democrat but running as a Republican, and didn't get Trump's endorsement. So this is not really a reflection of what I think we're going to see in November. Democrats love to spike the ball. I'd be really careful if I were them about spiking it too early and making this too much more than it actually is.
No, I agree with you. It's a unique situation for a lot of reasons. Santos coming out of there, Suozzi being known to the public.
And if they can't win a seat that Santos used to have, I mean, that's a gimme. That's one they should win, no matter how bad the opposition is. That's one they should definitely take.
Would have been a bigger story today if it went the other way. Here's what Senator Chris Murphy had to say in his quote-unquote memo to Democrats. He says, Democrats should learn a lesson from this. What happened in the 3rd Congressional District? Quite simply, we risk losing the 2024 election if we do not seize this opportunity to go on offense on the issue of the border, turn the tables on Republicans on a key fall voting issue. So that is one lesson possibly, because Suozzi, he didn't run away from the issue of the border. He did, however, run away from the president on that issue. He was very aggressive, taking, I guess, what you would describe as a centrist position. He was tough on the border, and it worked.
I think that is a big takeaway. Everybody cares about the border. Republicans, Democrats, and independents. We've talked about that over the last couple of months. But everybody is also pretty united in their opposition to Biden and Trump. So the real lesson here is that Trump stayed away and Biden stayed away, and these two kind of fought it out. And I think the bigger takeaway is Biden is very unpopular and Trump is very unpopular. And that's maybe the biggest takeaway of what happened here in Long Island.
Yeah, because you're able to go after the Republicans if you're Suozzi, because you're a Democrat, on some of the border politics and say, hey, you guys could have passed that border security bill. His opponent didn't say that because she's a Republican, so you can kind of play both sides of it. The other thing is the Mayorkas stuff over the last few days, because, now it's very close. The Republicans only lose 2 votes when Suozzi's sworn in. They did impeach Mayorkas by a single vote and then got to attacking him and Biden today in their press conference. Let's listen to some of the GOP here. Take a listen.
It's now time for the Senate to do its duty, to step up, hold a trial, and convict Secretary Mayorkas.
A man unfit to be held responsible for mishandling classified information has zero business occupying the Oval Office.
And that's about President Biden. At the end, the first part about Mayorkas, who we know is not going to be convicted in the Senate. So you mentioned political games earlier. Is that what we're seeing here?
It is, because we've also got a national defense bill that still hasn't passed, right? We've got aid to Ukraine, aid to Israel. This is the critical stuff that has to go to the battlefield. The Mayorkas stuff could wait. I mean, it feels like political gamesmanship. It doesn't have to happen now. And just remember, they're going to go on break pretty soon for the Easter break. They go on break again in the summer. There's a short window for them to get things done, and they have to get things done like defense bills. These are absolutely critical to our allies and to our forces that are also hanging in the balance and are in harm's way. So I think it's another example of gamesmanship, of political point scoring, and it feels a lot like it's more about the election and beating the other party than it is about defending our homeland and defeating the enemies.
All right, Paul, it's always good to see you, and thank you for coming in. Covered a lot of ground, as we always do.